Good afternoon. This afternoon, we are providing an update on our investigation into the fatal shooting of 34-year-old Will Smith. The New Orleans Police Department worked this case aggressively over the past 12 hours, from immediately detaining the perpetrator on the scene last night to interviewing witnesses and processing scene evidence. Here's what we know right now. Around 11:29 p.m. yesterday, we received a call of shots fired in the area of Felicity Street and Sophie Wright Place. Our officers responded within 4 minutes. When we arrived, we located Mr. Smith partially inside of his vehicle, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to his body. He was later pronounced dead on the scene. We also found his wife, who had been shot to the right leg. She was taken to the hospital where she was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Based on our investigation, we learned that Mr. Smith and his wife were traveling eastbound on Sophie Wright Place in their silver Mercedes. As they were approaching Felicity Street, their vehicle was hit in the rear by an orange Hummer H2, which caused their vehicle to hit the rear of a gray Chevrolet Impala. The Impala was occupied by two acquaintances of the victims. They were not injured. At some point, the driver of the Hummer, later identified as 30-year-old Cardell Hayes, and Smith exchanged words. Shortly afterwards, Hayes produced a handgun and opened fire on Smith and his wife. No one else was injured in the gunfire. Cardell Hayes stayed on the scene until the police arrived. He was immediately detained and questioned and later brought to central lockup, where he was booked with second-degree murder. There was a passenger inside of Hayes' vehicle. He was questioned and released. At this time, we don't have any information that would lead us to believe that he was involved in this shooting. Our investigation continues as to motive of this shooting and whether or not Smith and Hayes knew each other prior to this incident. Detectives continue to work aggressively to identify any surveillance video in the area and gather additional evidence that would help this investigation. While this was an isolated incident, it is certainly tragic at every level and on all sides. One life is over and another life is ruined. Make no mistake about it, we absolutely do not tolerate this type of behavior on the streets of New Orleans, and we will build a strong case for the district attorney to prosecute Cardell Hayes to the fullest extent of the law. Our thoughts and prayers are with all families who were impacted by this terrible crime, and I also want to commend our officers who responded quickly and professionally to get the situation under control and to ensure that no one else was injured.